Man, Meghan looks a lot different when she thinks the cameras aren't watching.
Despicable fake tears at Bondi Beach, using a terrorist atrocity to sell her shitty clothing.
Well, it is all over for the grifters of Oz. So long, farewell.
And use them as props. They're using these sick kids as props. It infuriates me, Sue.
They go on this sort of faux royal tour to Australia, and they pretend that they're still working royals.
And we're watching these two do exactly what they said they didn't want to do.
Let's open with the number that tells you everything before a single word of explanation is required. $100 million. That was the Netflix deal. That was the Spotify valuation. That was the cultural footprint Harry and Meghan were supposedly occupying just 4 years ago. Now look at the other number, 300 seats, a half-constructed hotel ballroom in Sydney. Tickets that never sold out. 122 minutes before she left to watch rugby. Let those two numbers sit for a moment, because the distance between them communicates something no amount of carefully managed press releases will ever paper over. This was not a royal tour. This was not a philanthropic expedition. This was the final commercial play of two people who have run out of every other available option, executed on the backs of gravely ill children, tragedy survivors, and homeless women, with every outfit cataloged, listed, and priced before the cameras had even stopped rolling.
They're there because they can't get work anywhere else. Netflix has dumped them. Spotify and Lemonada have dumped Meghan. The coffers have dried up. They are in Australia, where I am told reliably by many Australian audience members of The Nerve, they are not wanted. There is a petition that is up to at least 45,000 signatures demanding that the Australian government spend not one iota of their tax money protecting these two.
Those two are poison here in America, never mind the UK, where it's even worse. No one's going to put them on for ratings or otherwise. So like the public has turned on them. That's why they have to go to Australia for this.
The Netflix deal is finished. The Spotify arrangement is gone. The Lemonada deal that followed it, also gone. The lifestyle brand is not moving product. And Hollywood has made its collective decision quietly, efficiently, and without much public announcement. The doors are closed. The pitches are not being taken. So they turned to Australia. Not with gratitude, with necessity.
Her and Harry are the ultimate victims. They will screw anyone over to make money. So they've come here on this fake royal tour and turned it into the sob story tour. They are pathetic.
And I believe it was very early on in their marriage, she and Harry went on their Australia tour, their inaugural, and she reportedly said, "I cannot believe I'm not getting paid for this."
But it seems like one failure after another for the former royal couple. Kinsey, it's also been revealed that Harry and Meghan plan to rebound from this latest flop with another tour of Australia.
In 2018, on their first official royal visit to this exact country, Meghan reportedly turned to a senior aide and said, "I cannot believe I am not getting paid for this." She said that while representing the crown, while Australians lined the streets in genuine excitement. 6 years later, she came back. This time, everything had an invoice. The outfits, the retreat tickets, the app, the commission. Every moment of visible generosity was simultaneously a commercial transaction, and the only people not informed of that arrangement were the ones being positioned inside it. Harry and Meghan arrived at a children's cancer ward, children mid-chemotherapy, children with severely compromised immune systems. Some still attached to IV lines as they were guided out to meet a couple they had no particular reason to recognize. Cameras present throughout. Photographs distributed before most of the children had returned to their rooms.
I was kind of shocked. A lot of images coming in about how Meghan acts when she doesn't think anybody's looking, including this one as well.
Much as I found it sickening earlier in the week when the clothes she wore when visiting a children's cancer hospital were put on the platform. Meghan then changed before going to a veterans art event later in the day and also put that outfit online. Why not go the whole hog and start selling jam crepes out of a trailer in the fucking car park?
This poor little girl, Harry was trying to talk to her and she was having none of it. And then the picture came up of Meghan hugging her again.
Did you get it? Did you get it?
Assuming it's real, that wouldn't surprise me that she had a mask slip like that. That wouldn't surprise me at all.
The outfit Meghan wore inside that cancer ward appeared on her AI-powered shopping platform the same day, not the following morning, that day. You could purchase her hospital visit ensemble while the children she had just visited were still lying in their beds. She changed for a Veterans Arts event later that afternoon. That outfit followed within hours. A close friend of William and Catherine put it plainly. Young cancer patients can very easily end up functioning as visual props to assist the Sussexes in generating revenue. It poses an extreme danger to the monarchy. This is the same couple who have spent years lecturing the world about protecting vulnerable children. At precisely what point does performing compassion become the opposite of compassion? The footage from that hospital corridor answered it before the question was fully formed.
There were 70 other at-risk patients that were wheeled out of their rooms. Didn't know why, because they didn't even know who Meghan Markle was. Just so she could be pictured next to them and bring awareness to the clothes she's wearing so she would sell them. Did she give 1 penny to the hospital or to the charity that she went to see later on about the women where she served the frittata? Of course not.
Why wouldn't Harry and Meghan put the masks on? Well, I'll tell you why, because they did all this for photo ops. They don't care about anything else.
Correct.
And so they put all these kids, health in jeopardy and use them as props. They're using these sick kids as props. It infuriates me, Sue. Do you share that?
This is a woman who will go to great depths to be pictured next to people who have suffered horrible tragedies. And the kind of person that does this is of the lowest of the lows.
These kids don't know who they are. They don't care. The whole thing is just so performative and so frustrating. And speaking of their whole narrative and what they're doing this trip to make money, to get attention. And
Meghan Markle charged Australian women between $1,700 and $3,000 American dollars per head to spend a transformational weekend in her presence. The venue was the Intercontinental Bondi Beach Hotel. Scaffolding still visible, ballroom not yet operational, and in a nation of 26 million people with weeks of advance marketing, she could not place 300 bodies in 300 chairs. The women who did pay received 122 minutes of Meghan before she determined she had somewhere more important to be. She walked out and went to watch Harry play rugby. Let that land without elaboration. This is the woman who signed a 9-figure streaming deal, who held a global audience in suspended disbelief for 90 minutes opposite Oprah Winfrey. 300 seats, 122 minutes. Couldn't fill the room. Left for the rugby. The descent is not merely embarrassing, it is staggering. And the staggering part is not the fall itself. It is that they appear to have no awareness that it is occurring.
And by the way, the whole life of profit thing ain't going too well, because Meghan embarrassingly turned up to the Her Best Life retreat, where the tickets failed to sell out. Here she is on stage with Jackie O's co-host, Gemma.
But they keep breaking open the same act. She gets in front of this group of women who gathered to celebrate her at $1,700 a pop and decided to tell them how terrible her life was, how difficult her life has been. It's amazing how difficult her life has been. And she's traveling around with the Prince of England.
The poor folk inside who had paid literally thousands and thousands of dollars in order to attend with Meghan at the unfinished Intercontinental Bondi Beach Hotel, which doesn't even have a pool ready at the moment. They got her for 122 minutes. That was all. Because Meghan decided it was more important to join her husband, Prince Harry, at a Waratahs game.
The MasterChef entrance said everything. The slow walk, the manufactured pause, the hip-to-hip movement multiple commentators independently identified as a studied runway approximation, and then the introduction. We've had MasterChef royalty in the kitchen before, but no one liked this. Reports emerged immediately that Meghan was displeased with the word royalty, that it contradicted her carefully maintained position that she has moved beyond all of that. That argument collapses under a single observation. She is on that program because of the title. Not because of suits, not because of deal or no deal, because she is the Duchess of Sussex. Because the institutional weight of the crown, the very institution she has spent 6 years attacking, is the only reason that Kitchen Door opened. The only thing that makes these two commercially interesting is the one thing they insist they want no part of.
And what I find so interesting about this is that the only thing that makes these two people interesting is the royal family. The one thing they're trying to run away from, the one thing that they say they want no part of, that's all they've got. We're not interested in them for any other reason.
The Duchess of Sussex, Meghan Markle!
Oh my God! Royalty, Sue! Oh my God! Like, I'm sorry. So she's now resorting to reality star judge.
The funniest part about this, Piers, they say that they're just coming here as two private citizens. Well, in the last couple of hours, Meghan has been announced, would you believe, as a guest judge on the Australian version of MasterChef, as in the cooking show.
She gets a guest appearance on MasterChef. Way to be complicit, MasterChef people. And she's reportedly very upset about this description of her when she walked out.
Like, you can't just like put your arm around and be like a normal person. Meghan, can you take 3 steps in front of the other judges?
And then came the bots. Profiles so transparently manufactured they were being screenshotted for entertainment. 0 posts, negligible followers, deployed in coordinated waves producing manufactured praise with the rhythm of a script on a loop. The genuine audience reaction had been severe enough that artificial amplification became a business requirement. Boycott campaigns organized. The phrase "getting Meghan" began trending before the episode had even aired. She lobbied to appear without payment on a cooking program, conducted herself as though she were personally saving it from irrelevance, and still required fake accounts to simulate welcome. A targeted attack at the Westfield Bondi Junction shopping center left 6 people gone in a hate-fueled incident. Less than a year later, Meghan and Harry arrived at the beach adjacent to the site. There were tears, embraces with survivors. Quiet moments of apparent grief, all captured on camera, all distributed globally before the day ended. There was not one word from Meghan when those 6 people lost their lives. Not a post, not a gesture, but suddenly there were cameras. Suddenly there was an audience, and the clothing worn while standing face to face with survivors was already listed on her shopping platform before she had physically left the location. 1 click and it was yours. Royal commentator Tom Sykes, widely recognized for giving the Sussexes a fair hearing, stated without hesitation that Meghan had converted a tragedy site into a digital shopping outlet. A revolting dereliction of duty. Not as a royal, as a human being. This follows the same pattern from Uvalde. Descended on the memorial, positioned herself, departed. A pattern so consistently repeated that observers across 3 continents have independently arrived at the same phrase: disaster tourist.
And Tom Sykes, who I actually think is one of the people who is pretty fair on the Sussexes, he is disgusted. He is completely disgusted about this, writing on his Substack, The Royalist, Meghan just turned a massacre site into an online shopping mall. It really shouldn't need saying, but when you are meeting people affected by an anti-Semitic mass shooting, making a quick buck off the event is a revolting dereliction of one's duty. And then he says, not as a royal, as a human.
We can't forget when she went to Uvalde. She flew to Uvalde just to take pictures at a memorial site of children who were killed at a school. This is a woman who will go to great depths to be pictured next to people who have suffered horrible tragedy.
Harry and Meghan appeared on the stadium's large screen at the Warriors match. What followed was documented by a source inside the ground. First came silence, not hostility, not enthusiasm, complete, flat indifference. The silence of a crowd that arrived to watch sport and found a celebrity appearance they did not request. Then came the jeering, not universal, but audible, unmistakable. The recalibration was visible in real time, exaggerated waves at sections of the crowd showing no interest in reciprocating. And then, timed with the precision of a team that has been choreographing these moments for years, came the public display of affection. Harry leaned across. Meghan received it. The cameras captured the angle. The image went out. Every moment of visible human connection is simultaneously a content decision. The kiss was not a private moment that happened to be observed. It was produced for the camera. And the camera, increasingly, is the only audience still reliably showing up. Confirmation has arrived from sources inside Buckingham Palace that King Charles has engaged in precisely 0 discussions about removing Harry and Meghan's titles. Not one conversation, nothing. Despite the hospital, despite Bondi Beach, despite the merchandise, despite the booing, despite an entire week of behavior that Queen Elizabeth spent her final years constructing barriers specifically to prevent, the Andrew precedent cannot be dismissed. He was stripped of every title without criminal conviction for lying about his association with a convicted individual and refusing to cooperate with investigators. But Andrew never accused the royal family of racism before a global television audience. Never published a 400-page document dismantling each family member in sequence. never listed his hospital visit outfit on a commercial platform the same afternoon.
But we now have precedent with Andrew, Mountbatten Windsor, who was Prince Andrew, who is the King's brother. He's had everything stripped, and to date, he's not been convicted of any crime. He certainly hasn't been out there attacking the royal family, attacking the monarchy on a global stage.
If the palace could act decisively then, what is the specific reason it cannot act now? A source with long-standing proximity to Queen Elizabeth said it plainly. This is precisely the outcome she dedicated considerable effort to preventing. You cannot carry the Duchess of Sussex title into a children's cancer ward and monetize the visit before leaving the car park. You cannot perform grief at a tragedy site and upload the outfit to a shopping platform simultaneously. These are not matters of taste, they are questions of basic coherence. And the one person with the authority to respond continues declining to do so. King Charles is walking toward a state visit to the United States, an address to Congress, a moment every credible royal commentator is calling genuinely decisive for the monarchy's international standing. And he is walking toward it with Bondi Beach merchandise listings, cycling across global media, and footage of his son being met with stadium silence. William has reached the limit of his tolerance. The future king is watching his grandmother's life achievement being repurposed as a branding vehicle by his own brother. And what the public is watching alongside him is a couple who departed an institution claiming it had damaged them beyond repair, then spent 6 years proving they cannot function without it. Every revenue stream flows directly from the connection they publicly disavow and privately treat as their most valuable commercial asset. Queen Elizabeth said no to this in 2020. Clearly, formally, the Sandringham Summit was not a misunderstanding. It was a decision. And what Australia demonstrated, with a comprehensiveness that removed every remaining layer of ambiguity, is that the decision is being ignored by the two people it was directed at, and by the one person with both the authority and the obligation to enforce it. That threshold was not approached last week. It was crossed a considerable time ago. And the only question remaining is whether anyone with the power to act is finally prepared to acknowledge it.